We're going to be finishing up this painting of the lips this week. In last week's video, we got to this point right here. We finished the entire lower lip. We got all the highlights and the shadows in. And so from here, all we need to do is paint in the teeth and then paint in the upper lip using the exact same techniques that I showed in last week's video. So let's get started on this one. That's my completed painting on the left side of the screen, and from here what I'm doing is using some black paint in my airbrush. It's reduced about 20% with water, and what I'm doing here is spraying in this really dark shadow just above the upper lip and to the right of the teeth. To mask off the lower lip, I'm using a piece of copy paper here that I cut a curve into using an X-Acto blade. So you can see I'm just lining that up with that top part of that lower lip and spraying some paint up. I want to be very careful here as I get close to the tooth that I don't spray too much paint in there. If a little bit gets on there, it's not a big deal because I can remove it with the eraser later on. So what I'm going to do here is use a double mask, 2 pieces of paper, one to block off the tooth and one to block off the lower lip. I apologize that my left hand is kind of blocking the camera angle, but you can see what those tooth shields do. As I spray in there, I get a sharp edge along the left side where the tooth is and a sharp edge along the bottom. I can fill in some more paint. I'll fill in some of this freehand, and when I get to that lower lip, I mask it off with a piece of paper. Moving along to the left side, I'm masking off the upper lip and spraying some black paint down into this left tooth. And I'll do the same thing for the bottom of it, mask it off with a curved piece of paper and spray some paint up. You can see for these teeth, as I'm spraying them in, I'm just trying to focus a little bit more of this paint along the left side where we have some of the darkest values and along the top. But I just want to go very light with that black paint for now, just kind of get the teeth in place. We're going to adjust them after we get some red painted in for that upper lip. So I'm using that same brilliant red mixture that I talked about last week and starting to spray in the upper right-hand side of this upper lip, just to get some of that red in there so I know where the placement of it's going to be later on. And of course, to mask off those teeth, I used some freehand shields, and I also used one along the right-hand side of it to give myself a sharp edge up there. And from here, I want to darken up the teeth a little bit more, refine some of the shadows, so I'm using a mixture of 50% sepia and 50% black. And again, that entire mixture is reduced about 20, and what I want to do here is get in a shadow along the left side of the right tooth. So again, I'm using a double mask. I'm masking off the lower lip with a freehand shield and a piece of paper on the left side of this right tooth. And I just slightly pulled back on the airbrush trigger to get some of this darker value in. You can see that just gives us a shadow along the left side of that right tooth. And I add some darker values along the left side. So again, using a freehand shield to mask off the lower lip and spraying the sepia and black mixture into that left corner just to help darken it a bit more. You can see in my completed painting that we have 2 specular highlights along the left side of the teeth here, so I'm switching over to a soft eraser and I'm going to start to draw in the one on top. I have that eraser sharpened to a fine point, so it's very easy to draw these in with a light amount of pressure, and I'm going to use this same eraser along the right side of this left tooth just to pull out some light in here to help brighten that part up. And I switched over to the aggressive eraser to go back into that specular highlight again because the soft eraser just wasn't pulling out enough paint. Now from here, I'm switching over to an over-reduced version of black. It's about 1 part paint to 2 parts water, and I'm just lightly spraying this over the teeth, focusing a little bit more paint into some of the darker values that I'm seeing. And I'm not masking off the lower lip here, so some of that black paint is unfortunately going to get on that lower lip, but you're going to see later on I'm going to use an eraser just to remove that thin layer of paint off the top. In hindsight, I definitely should have masked off that lower lip because it's going to give me more work to do at the end of the painting, but it's not a big deal. I can adjust it later on. So you can see from here that I'm using my soft eraser just to draw in some of these very light highlights within the tooth, pull out some areas to make them look like they're a little bit brighter. If you look at my completed painting on the left side of the screen, you can see the subtle transitions from light to dark, especially on the right tooth. There's some areas where just a little bit of light is hitting this tooth, like right in the center of it and along the right side. For the left tooth, it's the same thing. There's just a bit of a highlight along the right side, so I'm just removing some paint in there to help lighten that part up. And I know that it can be a bit tricky, so if you struggle with soft erasing like I'm doing here, you can always use a lighter opaque paint to spray these in as well. And so with a bit of work, I would say that's good enough for the teeth for now. We have most of the textures in, still plenty of work to do. So what I'm going to do here is switch over to that over-reduced black and lightly glaze it over the top, just like I did before. And while I'm spraying this paint over the top, I'm not just randomly spraying it, I'm focusing more paint into the darker shadow areas. I know that these teeth probably look a little bit too dark right now. That's just fine. When I start painting in that upper lip, it's going to look a little bit more natural. Listening to this audio back, I'm starting to realize that I use the phrase a little bit too much, so my apologies for that. So from here, let's move into this upper lip. I'm using that opaque red mixture. It's brilliant red with just a very little amount of green in it to help desaturate the red. And you can see what I'm doing here is trying to get a relatively even value of this red paint down in the lower part of this upper lip. And I'm using a shield to mask off the teeth just below it. A few parts of this upper lip are very dark, like right in the center here that I'm pointing out in my completed painting. So the way I get these values darker is by spraying more paint into this area. So you can see that I sprayed some more paint into this dark curve area right in the center. It's still going to need to be much darker later on, but like always, I start with those light values first and build them up darker and darker over time. And once the lower part of that lip is in place, I switch back over to that black mixture to spray in a few of the darker values along the teeth again. As I sprayed that black paint in, I accidentally sprayed too much along the top. So in order to fix this mistake, I'm switching over to a soft eraser and starting to work along the right side of this tooth. I have the video sped up here, but in probably about 2 to 3 minutes, you can see that I can blend that mistake right into the rest of the tooth and get an even value in there. And that lightens up the area a bit too much, so once I get that in, I lightly glaze over some black paint to help darken it up again. I switched back over to that brilliant red mixture and I'm spraying more paint along the lower part of this upper lip to help darken it a bit more. I'm going to need a few layers of paint in here to get this darker and darker, but we're getting there. Now that I have some paint down within this upper lip, I'm going to switch over to a soft eraser again and start drawing in some of the highlight values. I don't want to remove all the paint, so I'm using a very, very light amount of pressure on this eraser and using overlapping strokes to pull out even values of paint. Like I mentioned in last week's video, when I start a new part of the painting like this upper lip, I usually notice areas that I worked on earlier, like the teeth here, that could be fixed or improved on. So I noticed that the teeth were still a bit too dark and the highlight values just weren't pulled out enough. So I'm using my soft eraser here to work into those again. I'm removing some more paint from that specular highlight to help brighten it up. And now the left side of this right tooth is too dark. So I'm just going to lightly make a pass over it with that soft eraser to help remove some paint. This way I'm not getting any texture in here and I'm lightening up the value. And you can see just like that, a quick pass over the top helps lighten up that darker shadow. So from here, I'm going to start working into that upper lip again. And what I'm doing is drawing in the shapes of these highlights along the left side. I'll circle them on my completed painting on the left side of the screen so you can see what I'm working towards. It's just kind of like these abstract lighter shapes within the left side of this lip. And if you notice on my completed painting that there's some darker values just below these highlights, so I'm switching over to my carmine red mixture and starting to spray these in. Just spraying them around these highlights, and when I get to the lower part of the lip, I want to mask off the teeth below it so I don't get this red paint on that left tooth. And like always, I want to be very careful with my erasing here. I don't want to be sloppy with it. I want to make sure that I overlap the stroke so I get an even value of paint removed from the surface. If I go too quick with my eraser and just erase out jagged lines, it's going to look messy, so I want to make sure I take my time with this. And if you watched last week's video, this is the exact same technique. The only difference is that the highlights here are not that bright, so I'm not using the aggressive eraser or the electric eraser. I just use a soft one to lightly remove some paint, and then I switch over to that brilliant red mixture, glaze it right over the top of everything. And you can see that I sprayed in a little bit more paint below these highlights to darken them first before adding that glaze. From here, we really need to darken up the left side of this upper lip. It's way too light right now, so I'm switching over to that carmine red mixture, and I'm starting within some of these shadows along the left side. You can see that I'm spraying in some paint to the left and to the right of these highlights that I just drew in with the eraser, holding the airbrush a little bit closer to the surface to give myself a sharper edge in here. And at the same distance, I'm going to spray in some of the darker values along the left side of the upper lip. There's some areas that are a bit darker and a bit lighter in here. So as I notice them in my reference, I spray some more paint into those darker areas and less into the lighter areas. So like I mentioned multiple times, I'm controlling my values by how much paint is sprayed onto this surface. I'm not using any white or lighter opaque paints. For the top part of this upper lip, I used a ripped piece of paper to spray over. That way that textured edge gets transferred over to the panel and it masks off the white background above it. Once I get some of the edge in, I'm going to spray the right side of it in freehand, spray some of this red paint into the top part of this lip. And because I didn't mask all of this off, I'm going to use that soft eraser to remove some overspray and also just erase into some of that lip texture, give myself more of a jagged edge along the top. And then I just continued to spray a bit more of that brilliant red mixture into some areas that were too light. Now from here, I want to lighten up a few larger areas and also add this very subtle texture in. So I'm going to use a simple drawing trick of using a kneaded eraser. If you work in charcoal or graphite, you're probably very familiar with this, but what I do is I have a kneaded eraser just stuck to the end of a stick so I have something to hold on to. And what I do with this is lightly make a few passes over some areas that I want to bring out some light. You can see that when I do this, it removes a bit of paint and lightens up the area. It's kind of hard to see on video, but a kneaded eraser like this also adds this very subtle texture into any area that you erase into. So it's a cool way to add something a bit different to your paintings. It's not a technique that I use all that often in my airbrush paintings, but over the last year or so, I found myself using it more and more because I like that very subtle texture that it gives. And then right back over to this brilliant red mixture, again spraying around 25 psi to spray some paint into the darker areas within the middle part of the lip. And a technique that I use all the time and I talk about all the time is that as I'm looking at my reference photo, I squint my eyes and it's just a lot easier to see those larger areas of light and dark. So anywhere I see a darker value within my reference photo, I just spray a little bit more paint into that area on my painting. Just like the lower lip that we painted in last week, the upper lip has a very large specular highlight on top. In order to get this to look bright, I need to remove all the paint from the surface and to have dark values surrounding it. So what I'm doing here is using my electric eraser and removing all the paint. You'll see that the way that I'm doing this is I work along the outer contours first, draw on those edges, and then I erase out all the paint within the middle. With the sand eraser that I have on here right now, it removes paint very quickly, so I'm not using much pressure at all on this, just lightly touching it to the surface and it removes all the paint. There's a few darker values within the center of this reflection, so as I'm removing paint here, I just work around those. There's already enough paint on the surface, so I don't need to add any more. It's just by removing paint shows these darker values within here. So now the placement is correct of these darker spots within the reflection, but the value is too dark, so I need to lighten them here. You could spray a lighter paint over the top of this. That's what most people will do. That'll work just fine, but you see what I'm doing here is something a little bit different. I'm just lightly going over it with my soft eraser. And you see that once I make a light pass over the top, I'm not losing any of the detail, but I'm lightening up the value. Everything is also getting a little bit softer along the edges. Before I start darkening this upper lip, I want to remove a highlight to the left of the specular highlight that we just added in. So I'm using a soft eraser, using less pressure on it. I remove some paint, but it's nowhere near as bright as the aggressive eraser that I used to the right on that specular highlight. And now from here, it's time to start darkening up the right side of the lip. So going right back over to that brilliant red mixture, and I'm going to start along the outer contours first. I'm not going to use a shield. I'll just do this freehand for now because I can sharpen up the edges with an eraser later on. But you can see once I get the edges in, I start filling in the center. And there's no white in this mixture, so this red can get very dark. I need to be careful not to spray too much. Just a little bit at first, get everything in place evenly, and then we can go darker later on. And like I just mentioned, because I didn't use a stencil or a shield, the edge is a little bit too soft. So I'm going to use an eraser, start on the outside, and just remove some paint there to sharpen it up. And as I sprayed this in, I didn't mask off that specular highlight, so I want to make a quick pass over the right side of it again with my eraser so I don't lose the detail and to help brighten it up again. And once that paint is over the top, I'm going to switch over to my soft eraser again, start adding in some subtractive drawing to add in the highlights along the left side. And I don't want these to be too bright, so the soft eraser is the right tool for the job here, just a light amount of pressure and overlapping strokes to evenly remove paint. And earlier in the video, some of the black and sepia overspray got onto the upper part of this lower lip, so I'm using my soft eraser here to help remove that overspray, go back down to the red. And if I erase too much and it gets too light, it's not a big deal because I could spray some red paint over later on. So from here, what I'm going to do is start adding in a bunch of little dots along the top lip. And I'm using an electric eraser to do this, just a few parts of this upper lip at a time. You can see that I just touch it to the surface wherever I want a very small little bright highlight. And you can see in my completed painting that a bunch of these small dots makes it look almost like glitter. It's just a bunch of small little specular highlights. It's kind of like a layer of texture on top of the texture that we're adding in. And I'm spraying some more of that brilliant red mixture into some of the shadow values to help darken them up a little bit more. And then I'm going to switch over to that electric eraser and remove the paint from this large specular highlight again. I use that color brilliant red to paint in the shadow lines within the center of this upper lip, and then I use an eraser to pull out some highlights in between them. And then to darken up these shadows, I'm switching over to that carmine red mixture and spraying this right over the top. More layers of paint here, it's darker it's going to get. Once those are in place, I want to get some separation in between them, so I'm using that soft eraser to remove some highlights just to the left and the right of these shadows. And this is just going to help add to that illusion of depth within this part of the painting. The lighter parts are going to look like they're angled toward the light source, and the darker parts are going to look like they're angled away from it. You can see that a lot clearer in the completed painting on the left side of the screen, how some parts of this look like they're raised up and some parts look like they're pushed back, and that's just light and dark. Now I need to darken up the right side of this lip, so I'm using that brilliant red again, and you can see that I'm using a shield to mask off the lower lip and spray some paint up. I also use another shield along the top right side of it to give myself a very sharp edge. And once I get those in, I spray some paint within the center to help darken everything. And there's a part within the center of this lip that's a bit brighter, this area that I'm circling, so I just didn't spray as much paint in there. So now most of this upper lip is in place, so what I'm doing here is I'm going back to that electric eraser and I'm going to add a bunch of these small little dots across the left side of this lip. Again, like I mentioned earlier, this is going to make it look like there's just a bunch of very small specular highlights, almost like glitter along the top part of this lip, so it just makes it look like the lipstick or the lip gloss is very reflective. And of course, this wouldn't just work by itself. The large specular highlights that we have on the lower lip and the upper lip really help to give off this effect. I'll speed up the video just because it's me adding in a bunch of dots with an eraser, and you can see that I also added a few along the lower lip too, especially right around that really bright highlight. And so now at this point, the lips are basically done. We have all the major values in, we have the placements of the shadows. And so what I'm going to do from here, and this is always my favorite part of a painting, is just make all these little subtle adjustments using my eraser and the airbrush. Like for example, here on the upper right hand side of this lip, I noticed that some parts of it looked a little bit too flat. There wasn't enough brighter highlights within here. So it's very simple to do. The paint is fully dried on this surface, so I use my soft eraser and I just look at my reference photo and try to spot where I see some areas that are a little bit brighter. Then I look over at my painting and I come in with my eraser and just make a light pass over that surface to help lighten them up. And I'm looking for very subtle changes here, so I'm not using much pressure at all on my eraser, just lightly removing some paint in some areas to make it look like there's some raised sections and some lower sections. And I also erased out some more paint within this center part that I circled earlier because this part is catching some reflected light, so it's a little bit brighter. And another way to make that area look lighter is to spray dark paint surrounding it, so I'm using that carmine red mixture to spray in the shadow areas above it and into that really dark shadow just below to the right of the teeth. And finally, I noticed I needed to darken up that cast shadow along the top part of the teeth, so I used some black paint, sprayed it in there, and masked off that upper lip. And that's pretty much it for this one. That's all the techniques I used. At the end here, I dimmed the lights a little bit to see the values a bit differently. I noticed I needed to make some adjustments to the teeth, so it's the same techniques that I used before. I'm just lightening up the lower right-hand side of it and a few areas within the center. Corrections like this are always the most fun part of the painting because everything is pretty much done at this point. You're just trying to make parts of it a little bit better than they were before. And so that's the two-part video on all the techniques that I used to paint these lips. So it's 40-minute total, but in reality, this painting took me about 7 hours or so, and I did it slowly over the course of about 5 or 6 days. And the reason I'm telling you this is just a reminder to slow down. I know it looks like I'm working fast on these because I speed up the video, but I'm always working slowly and I'm taking my time. And so that's it. This painting is done. Here's a shot of what it looks like straight on. Also, I'm going to throw in a few close-up shots here so you can see what some of the texture looks like up close. I want to thank you all so much for being here, and I really hope that you enjoyed this two-part lip painting. It was a fun one to do. It's not that difficult either. And like always, I want to say thank you very much to the very generous support of the current channel members, and I'd also like to welcome the newest members this week. And so a thank you and a warm welcome to Time to Know and Mark G, and also a thank you so much to Ryan for resubscribing. Take care, everyone. I wish you way more than luck in your own paintings, and I'll see you back here next Friday.